So I'm now joined with Steve from Emerson. Steve, it's absolutely great to see you here at the show. Now, can you just give us a little bit of an insight into Emerson as a company?
Sure, so we're Emerson. We're effectively the world's biggest automation supplier. $12 billion turnover last year, so a very large organisation. Lots of different business units doing lots of different sorts of automation. We're very big in oil and gas, but at this particular exhibition, of course, we're focusing on food and bev, maybe pharmaceutical, and we have some of the product ranges which are more applicable to those industries. So my business is Machine Automation Solutions, which is effectively PLCs, Programmable Logic Controllers. I don't like to use that term because it's a bit old-fashioned. I prefer to call them Programmable Automation Controller or Industrial Controller or just Controller for short.
So talk me through this controller then. So we've got an image here up on the TV screen. So I suppose this is like a mock-up, is it, of what's being controlled
That's
here?
right. That's what we call a mimic or a screen. So you would use that for visualization. So the operators may be a remote, maybe they're in a control room somewhere. So rather than have to walk to the machines and see what's going on, we would create a mimic of the actual process on a device like this. This is called a human-machine interface or an operator interface. But
Would
really,
that be able to be portable?
It could be portable, it could be an iPad or an Android device, it could be your mobile phone, it could be a laptop, it could be a computer, in an office somewhere. So there's lots of different ways of presenting the information. It's just a pretty picture, really.
My husband does it for the dryer in the potato store. Very interesting.
Okay.
But anyway, carry on about the system here, because it will be quite similar, I would have thought.
So we have sort of like a hierarchy. So we really start at the low level, which is the inputs and outputs. So inputs is things like push buttons, limit switches, things like sensing of the temperatures, sensing the pressures and the flows.
And then they send alerts, do
They
they?
send information via the I/O, which we have here. So the I/O devices, that actually converts the physical inputs into an electrical impulse and then into a data which comes over an Ethernet network. And then that comes into the actual programmable logic controller. So here we've got a modular programmable logic controller. You can see it's got a backplane and there are multiple modules. Increasingly now people are moving more towards a standalone controller. So rather than have all of that with a modular, different technology there where you plug things in, it's all pre-contained inside one box.
Smaller,
So
more
lower
concise,
cost, just one
easier.
power supply, easy to integrate, less panel space because panel space is important. So much
Also, I
easier to set on the
presume
machine.
slightly less intimidating as well. If you, as somebody that goes and works, that looks. If you're working for a company, and maybe you just, because the staff are quite difficult to get at the moment, it is slightly less
Yes,
intimidating.
definitely. If we're talking about getting the new engineers coming out of
Yeah.
college these days, a device like this is going to be a lot more attractive to them than something that is, to be honest, a bit big and clunky, and also is more complicated to configure, because for this one, you have to tell it, what module is in one slot, how is that module configured, whereas this equipment, it's all pre-contained, so it's much easier to configure. So yeah, you're much less intimidating, you're right.
So this as a whole can be put in any way that the client wants to. They can come to you and it can be made in a bespoke element, is that right?
That's right. So we can provide integration services, we can provide a turnkey solution. More likely what happens though is we would work with a machine builder, an OEM or a system integrator or possibly the end user. They would buy the components they need, they would assemble those components into the solution they need, and then they would program it themselves using one of the standard PLC type languages.
It sounds fantastic. Now, tell me about why you're here at PPMA. What is it about the show that really is it very attractive to Emerson to be here?
Well, we're big in oil and gas, we're big in other industries, we're not that big in the food and bev markets yet. So one of the reasons for being here is to establish our market presence in this industry and also to show all of the customers and the other people here, the other exhibitors, the range of products and equipment that we have.
And what's the clientele been like? Has it been the right type of customer for you?
Definitely, yes. It's been a very good show for us. We've had a lot of leads so far. Looking forward to another good day tomorrow.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time and have a great rest of your show.